BAME is not in our name. So you think BAME makes perfect categorical sense, even though it causes terrible offence to various Africans, Caribbeans, Asians, Latinos, the Chinese, and many more so-called minorities. Please, it's time for a radical change of consciousness, because applications of BAME and BME to our identities are totally ludicrous. Derived from an ancient discussion on race and ethnicity that has centered on a white stroke non-white dichotomy. BAME is supposed to refer to 14% of British people, but as poignantly noted by Sawan Ali, not all non-white people experience oppression equally, and our current terminology fails to explain how specific ethnic minorities experience racism unequally. Why conflate Black and BAME together under one homogenous political umbrella to suggest all non-white women and men face a commonality of structural oppressions within different systems, be it in housing, class, education, or even the judiciary, when clearly African Caribbean Blacks are far more likely to be stopped and searched, excluded from school, become homeless, and live in poverty. Ali concludes that concealing this anti-blackness into a BAME phraseology trivializes the Black struggle for equality. So for decades I have tolerated the BAME and BME acronyms. Mounting a national and political campaign seemed too overwhelming. By ticking those boxes for classificatory purposes, I too colluded and complied. Not wanting to rock the boat effectively has meant living a lie. Unsurprisingly, becoming one of Ealing Labour's equality officers presented me in 2019 with a personal dilemma. Since to represent Black, Asian and minority ethnic party members and voters again necessitated engaging with the BAME name letter by letter, all the while noting the annoyance of friends and comrades who refused to comply. Then when the coronavirus pandemically arrived on the British Isles, penetrating its deadly impact on Irish, Scottish, Welsh and English residences, during the imposed lockdown, the daily briefings and news deeply troubled me. Unusually, Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities were the main focus. BBC News asked why more BAME people were dying from coronavirus. However, when delving deeper to decipher that dreadful data, a research group at Oxford University revealed some startling answers. In the UK, Black Caribbean people were most at risk from COVID-19, followed next other Blacks, excluding Africans, Indians and then the Chinese, who were at least likely to die of this COVID-19 disease, while white people are less susceptible. Yet Chinese people plus Arabs, Indians and Black people and all other non-white people are lumped together under the term BAME to imply they are all affected by COVID-19 in the same way. In actual fact, Black Caribbean men and women are disproportionately dying more than any other ethnicity. Furthermore, emerging reasons point to racism, structural and health inequalities. Then the world witnessed a horrendous tragedy. that public lynching of George Floyd by the Minneapolis police. This African American's brutal murder reignited global riots, rage, and revolutionary fervour behind the campaign of Black Lives Matter. Having remained relatively silent over racist experiences and practices, Black people of African descent internationally, including me, would no longer internalise covert and overt racism and discrimination, notwithstanding actions codified by hegemonic institutions. Crucially, my eyes have opened 360 degrees and I see BLM as fundamentally in contradiction to BAME and BME. The latter terms fail to consider the impact racism has on different ethnicities, since anti-Black racism, anti-Asian racism, anti-Latino racism, anti-Arab racism, and anti-white racism all exist, but anti-Black racism has tended to predominate historically because of the legacy of colonial imperialism and white supremacy. In essence, Black lives truly matters to me as a daily, weekly, monthly, 365 reality. It's time to reject the chains of such oppressive names. In other words, please do not ever call me and thousands of campaigners like me BAME. Akuba, June 2020.